respected religious leaders, members of political parties, members of the international community, and my fellow civil society activists. First of all, I'd like to thank Freddie and his colleagues for having the courage and the determination to hold this event at this time. I hope that this will be the first of many more such events. I just returned from Jaffna. I returned this morning. And one of the things I heard there was people saying that they felt that the government, our government, did not care enough for them. And secondly, that our civil society too was not doing enough for them. So I think this event is a start in our dialogue with our fellow citizens in the north and the east. When I went to Jaffna, I saw that life has improved there. There is a lot of economic changes taking place. When I went in the plane, there was no checkpoints anymore. We were able to disembark from the plane and take the bus right from the tarmac itself to the city. So things have improved. And I saw houses coming up, people building their houses. The roads are very good. But when we spoke to the people, while they acknowledged the improvements in their life, there was also within them a deep sense of bitterness and apathy that another part of their lives was not changing. The wounds of the war were not being healed. In this context, the LLRC report is very important because it gives a very good analysis and it gives a lot of recommendations which can heal, which can go a large part of the way in healing the wounds of the war. These include compensating the victims, finding out what happened to them, the right to know of people as to what happened to their loved ones, then remembering what happened. Now today we are preparing here in the south, in Colombo, there are going to be celebrations remembering the 3rd year anniversary of the end of the war. But in the north, there is silence. On two previous occasions, 2 previous anniversaries, there were efforts made to organize public mourning, but those were not permitted because the government suspected or believed that those mournings were about the LTTE. But the people also lost thousands of their loved ones during this period. But they are not apparently going to mourn publicly this time. Private mourning, of course, will take place because that cannot be stopped. But our LLRC report says that there should be public mourning, that the government itself should take the lead in remembering all those who died. There are other symbolic actions that the LLRC has asked, which are not difficult to do, such as to sing the national anthem in both languages. And I hope that this is a task that civil society itself takes upon itself to do in the coming days. I don't want to take up too much time because the main feature of this meeting has taken place. The resolution, the draft resolution has been read out. But I also want to leave a message of hope. On the way back to Jaffna this morning, our flight was delayed. Why was it delayed? Because the airport authorities there got news that there were rehearsals going on in Colombo. And when we asked what those rehearsals might be, they said that the victory parade was taking place. and therefore the flight was going to be delayed. So I started after some time to talk to my fellow passengers who were also waiting there. And there was a family from the diaspora. Now, most of the people here, the Sinhalese and the government, think of the diaspora as being very much opposed to Sri Lanka, being the other, and that the diaspora is very polarized, and that the Sinhalese and Tamils abroad hate each other. And when I was talking to them, I asked the boy's name. There was a young man and a young woman and their father. And I asked the young man what his name was, and he gave a Sinhala name. So I asked him, where are you from? And he said, I was born in Goa, and also I lived in Hambantota. Then I asked him, are you a Sinhalese? Because his name was Sinhalese. And yes, he was a Sinhalese. And he was married to a Tamil girl, in the diaspora. So I asked him, is this common? What's happening? I mean, this is very unusual. I thought that the diaspora was very polarized. And he said, no, the second generation, they are not polarized. They have grown up in liberal Western societies where being racist, nationalist is not very well welcomed. And so they are not divided. And that there are, in fact, many such interracial marriages taking place in the diaspora. But he also told me that they don't talk about the political problems. They talk about everything else, they don't talk about the political problem. Then another person sitting nearby who was listening to what we were saying, he said, the problem is with the politicians. The people are not divided, it's the politicians. And yes, I think I would agree with that. In our civil society, even in Sri Lanka, Sinhalese, Tamils, Muslims, we get on well together. We work in the same offices, we play in the same sports clubs. But of course, one thing we don't talk about, the political problem. But the political problem is not for us. I mean, in a way, civil society has a responsibility, that people have a responsibility to see that there is justice. But a political solution needs a political leadership. It is our political leaders who have failed. That is true. Political solution requires political leadership. As for us in civil society, our task is to urge and pressurize and educate ourselves so that we will elect, in the future, we will elect political leaders who will indeed address this problem and seize this great opportunity. Every foreigner I meet says, this is a historical opportunity, a unique opportunity you have got. We must not lose this. Thank you.